So I'm Sarah Zumbrum. I'm here with my friend Amy Caldwell, and we are just going to go back and forth. We are not on the same side of the house. I'm on the EPM side. She's more on traditional development side. And we're going to talk about how we're on different sides of the house, but we still have a lot in common. So a year ago, we didn't really have this community model that has now come out for ODTUG, right? I'm part of the EPM community. You're part of the development community. Where did you see the community maybe a year ago? Where do you see it today at ground zero? And where do you want to see the community in a year? What are the options?
Okay. Sarah, I think the communities have been a really neat, just eye-opening experience. I think a lot of this has been organic. I got introduced from Chet Justice, was actually a consultant at my company, and I had no idea that this whole ODTUG world existed, and it did not take long. He tagged me on Twitter, started introducing me to people. So I've seen the ODTUG community really more starting from Twitter and that type of thing. And so then I realized that, hey, if I pay for a membership, then I can get on these forums and things. I'm really excited. I think on the traditional side, I've certainly seen a lot of just quick introductions that you can make, and everybody's just so willing to help. I even have found that sometimes I can post a question to the community and get an answer before I could get one from my own, maybe DBA or someone at my site. So
and let me absolutely follow you with that. That I see that on Twitter. I see your community being out there and really enjoying the social media that's available and using that to your community's advantage. And that's something that I really do want to take to the EPM community and saying, you know what, we can get past different lines we've had before, or different, not necessarily barriers, but different walls that we've put up. I think we can really break those down and really learn from your group. So the EPM community, we had the Hyperion SIG, it's now been disbanded in favor of the communities, which is a fantastic idea. But I think we're going to be starting from the ground up, like you say, it's very grassroots, and I think we're going to be learning a lot from your group because you guys have been pioneers in the social media, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Right. Yeah, and some of the things that I would recommend or I've seen is specific tools like Oracle Apex. I don't do development on Apex, but they have a very specific hashtag that they use, and I think if you follow certain hashtags, you'll really find it. And just, I think really finding some community advocates on your side will help just generate conversation and buzz, and it is a lot of fun. So
excellent. So we are on opposite sides of the house, but we have a lot in common as well.
Absolutely.
Like we are both very passionate about women in technology, right? We're both on the panel this year. Kellen has done a great job assembling it, getting our opinions, and they are not the same. You and I are friends, but we are very different. I don't have any kids and don't plan to. You have kids that you adore, and we have the same goals in our career. And so what is something that you've done in your organization, or how can you see things that you've learned from women in technology here applied to your organization?
Yes, it's been really neat. Actually, we've had a few people, last year in Women in Technology, I learned about the Lean In book and Sheryl Sandberg, and we took that back to my company, and we actually did like an internal book study on that, and just getting, I work in a big IT department, and just getting all the women together and rallying around and just open dialogue. What are some of the challenges? What are some things we have different opinions on? But one of the things that I think in general, women are very critical sometimes of other women, and just really trying to encourage each other and be honest with each other if we're having some maybe body language things that might be distracting during meetings, or are we saying I'm sorry too much? Like how can we present ourselves as very confident and be attractive to other young women coming out of college? And we have a lot of interns, and I really want to encourage them in the technical realm. So.
Right. Yeah, that's fantastic. I also read Lean In last year, and I did it on a cross-country flight, and I finished it in that time. As soon as I got off the plane, I'm texting people going, I've been doing it all wrong. Like, I didn't realize I was even doing this. And it's not a deficiency on our part. It's nature. Some of it's nurture, and that's how it is. But how do you come out and be stronger? How do you lead a group of women to be stronger and gain foundation? And be more confident. At the end of the day, it comes down to confidence.
It does.
And I think that you and I are very good about building each other up and saying, you know what, I've had a really bad day. I just need someone to talk to. Do you have any insight? I think we do a good job with that.
Right, absolutely. And I think, one of the things that I'm excited to see in our society in general is some of the some excellent toys have come out for girl, like kind of targeting
women
young
scientists
girls.
from Lego.
Exactly, the women scientists from Lego. The Goldie Blocks was developed by an engineer, and just kind of figuring out how little girls, how traditionally they've been, pink aisles and dolls and things like that, but they are so creative and they can build and they can learn all this engineering things. So I'm really excited about that. I'm having 3 kids myself, but also just in general, I think our society just helping close that confidence gap and giving them the opportunities early on. So what are you looking forward to with the panel tomorrow? What do you think you'd like to see out of it?
I really want to see some women step up within our own community. It does, and when I say community, I mean ODTUG community.
Right.
But even within the ODTUG community, within brand new communities, we need some women to step up in the EPM world, in the developers world, in DBA, in BI, and all of them. I really want to see some women go, that's me. That's something that I'm really good at. I can help other women with, and other women say, I'm not as strong, and then I'm looking for some mentors. I think that coming out of it, I mean, we have a fantastic mentor ourselves, Kellen, who really encourages us. Absolutely. But I think that you and I can be mentors to other women as well, and I'm willing to take some people under my wing. I know you are willing to do that too. But that's what I want to see come out of it. I want to see some women go, you know what?
Right.
I can do this.
Right.
And if there's any confidence issue, let's tear it down. If there's any other thing that may be a block, you have 3 younger kids, but you make this work. And I'm more traditional on my hours. I travel all the time, but I'm more traditional on my hours. But we still, at the end of the day, you and I are still texting at 10 o'clock at night.
Right. And that's one thing I really appreciate about the ODTUG community is I do actually have 3 young children, and I actually work part-time at my organization, and that's never been something that anybody said, oh, you're discounted at all. I mean, I've been completely encouraged to step up in every way, and so I appreciate that there isn't a difference in, she's got young kids, she doesn't work as much as other people. It's just absolutely not part of the conversation.
I've seen you on Twitter.
So
I know.
Yeah. So I'm definitely active on there. Amy C. Caldwell. So
EPM_queen.
Yeah, so you can easily find us, but I'm excited. Have you been enjoying the actual discussions? Have you given your speech yet, your session?
No, it's at 3:30 today.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave here and finalize it. But I'm actually looking forward to it. It's the first functional presentation I've ever given.
Oh, great.
I've always done more technical because that's who I am, and so I think this is a great stepping out of the box for me. So I'm actually having to think very differently. I still have to think linearly, but more creatively. So this will be good.
Are you seeing after the sessions that you're attending a lot of questions and answers and dialogue?
There's a session that I was actually in this morning. I have actually used this tool a lot, and so I would raise up what I felt were features of the tool that weren't being highlighted that everyday people and consultants would use. So I would say, hey, you can do this.
Good.
What I actually found out is people come up to me afterwards and go, hey, can we do this? Or what do you think about this? Or how do you use it in real world? And so what I love about these kind of conferences is that we can take what we learned in the session, and within 2 minutes of exiting, you have a solution to a problem you've had for years.
Right.
And it's fun. I think that's what ODTUG does well. I think that's what Kscope does well. If you have low T, you come out with better T, or at least you have contacts, to help you through. If you're stuck, you now have someone to go to, you have someone to ask. And I think that you can come away from this conference energized, and that there's a little bit more confidence. You have somebody to reach out to. You realize you're not alone.
Absolutely. And I think last night at the developers community night that some discussion was had about let's spend a little more time being more collaborative, because sometimes we get great information in the sessions and there's not always as much time as we'd like for question and answers, or can we set apart time, or how can we in general integrate, especially between developers and DBAs who need to work together. And there's reasons for separate communities in some ways to get deep into some technical things, but we really just in general the DevOps movement in our society, and just how can we make sure that we're really working together and able to answer some real, have some real life case studies and some examples to work through. So I think one thing that I've appreciated about ODTUG is the openness to feedback. And please fill out surveys, and I know that they read all that, and they will, make changes. I'm excited to see, even between, this is my second Kscope, but some of the changes for this year's conference were based on that feedback. Right. So I think that's exciting.
Yes.
So.
Well, we better get out of here and let somebody else come in.
Yes.
So.
Thank you so much.